Welcome to From Zero to Chatbots workshop. I am your presenter, Tessa Mero, and I will show you how to create a chatbot from knowing absolutely nothing to having a working chatbot by the end of this presentation. I'm a developer evangelist for Cisco DevNet, and Cisco DevNet is our huge developer program of a community of devs that build with our APIs and tools. Here's what we're going to be going over today. What are chatbots? What are the benefits? Integrations versus bots? Getting started with an API, creating a chatbot, using a deployment service, creating a webhook to connect and send out the message, and then testing your bot. So here's what you will need. You'll need your Cisco Spark account, web.ciscospark.com. With that account, you can log into your API account, developer.ciscospark.com. You're going to need a Heroku account, that's the deployment service. Note that this is all free at no cost. Of course, there's advanced pro versions, but we will be using the free version. So Heroku.com, you will need to create an account. You'll need to go to github.com and make sure you are logged in, or if you don't have an account yet, go ahead and create a free GitHub account, github.com. And optional is a JSON viewer, and you can go to that with the short link tiny.cc/JSON-viewer, JSON-VIEWER, and that'll help you be able to see your JSON results on a browser, neat and tidy, rather than all in one row and hard to read. If you don't want to use Heroku as a cloud service to deploy your applications, you can use alternatives such as a local tunnel to trick your computer into thinking it's on the internet, and you can show your application right on the web, but it looks like it's on your local machine. You can find this at localtunnel.me or ngrok.com. So here's our objective. You'll type the word storage, and then you'll get a response back called, what is your favorite color? And then you'll say your favorite color, let's say blue. And the response will be stored user preference. Cool, I love blue too. So what are chatbots? If we go back into the 1990s, you'll remember Clippy, a bot assistant pre-installed in Windows version from 1997 to 2003. And I remember seeing that pop up all the time, and I've never really needed to use it. But it stores information in a database. You ask a question and it'll filter out and respond back to what it thinks its answer is. And most of the time, it didn't really answer your question you needed. And then jumping to today, we have Siri as a bot for asking it questions with your voice commands, and then you get a response. So you can imagine how big that database is. Then you have Amazon Echo as a bot, and Amazon Alexa, Amazon Echo. I don't have either one, so I don't absolutely know the difference. And there's smaller versions, and there's a lot of different things you can do with these voice command devices. For example, one of my bosses, Jason Gecki, he works for Cisco, and he created an Amazon Alexa integrating with a Tesla Model S. And he can make commands to make other things do things. So these are integrations between different APIs, Amazon Alexa and then the Tesla. So he can ask his Tesla to come out of the garage using his Alexa. Chatbots are becoming more popular and will become the future of technology. There's so many endless use cases. For example, a customer service in an interaction. The bot is an AI to grab information and package it and put it in front of a human to finish the interaction. So what are the benefits of using a chatbot? So here's a post on Twitter, someone by the name of David Bland made. I've analyzed the Silicon Valley bot startup trend and created a handy Venn diagram to help explain it. Bots are designed to solve a problem you have in your workflow or business. So you have a problem, your bot solves it. You have a long process of doing something, you can automate it and make it do it for you. So there's different things such as integrations. And for example, this is a Smartsheet integration. You can create or use existing plugins to extend your chatbot to do things. So Smartsheet which is a competitor of Google Spreadsheets, to send notifications when there is a change in your spreadsheet or a new sheet was made or something was deleted, depending on how you set it up. It also lists the commands you can make to trigger activities, which is how most bots or integrations are made. In our company, Spark Chats, we have a room with a meme bot that one of my colleagues created. You type a few words, followed by the name of the meme to trigger it, and your bot will create a meme. There's actually an API for retrieving meme images and overlaying the text. It's one of the greatest APIs, I swear. So you have your integrations versus bots, and that was the Smartsheet example was an integration. An integration acts as you and can see and do the things that you can do. Another example would be the out-of-office assistant. So it's requesting the following. It lists the requests that you can do with it. Post and delete messages on your behalf, list the titles of rooms that you're in, list the people of rooms in rooms that you're in, and so on. So when you're creating an integration, you have a list of scopes, and your scopes defines the level of access that your integration requires. So a scope could also be an access level. You can find all this information also in the API documentation. We also have a collection of Postman calls. Just ask us later for more information. A bot appears as another member of the room, but can only see messages that mention it. So if it's in a group chat, you're going to have to mention the bot in case other bots have the same command to fire it off to make it do different things. So if you send a one-on-one message, you don't have to mention it. So how do you get started with an API? So for example, in this example, we're using Cisco Spark. You can go to developer.ciscospark.com, create a free web account, and then log into your developer account. So here's the website, web.ciscospark.com. Create your free account, log in. It's also an app or an iPhone app, Android app. Log in to developer.ciscospark.com, and that's where you'll be creating your bots. So creating a chatbot, the first thing you'll need to do is go to the developer portal. Here is developer.ciscospark.com, and you're going to click on the tab called My Apps, and that's located on the top right next to your profile image. And since you haven't added an image yet, it'll probably be blank. So just click on My Apps and then click on the big green plus sign. It's a white plus sign on a green circle. And then you'll have an option to create an integration or create a bot. So you'll want to click on Bot, and you will access the new bot creation form. You'll fill in the name, email identifier, and select an image or upload your own image. So that's on the next page. So ignore the bot ID on the top. You will not be using that. The information you'll be using is your bot username and then the Spark access token located on the very bottom of this form, which displays after saving this data. So your bot username needs to be all lowercase and all one word, alphanumerical. So make it easy. Your name, bot test, Melissa bot test, Tessa bot test, and then it'll add @spark.io at the end. So then your bot username would be name @sparkbot.io. Select your icon, add whatever you want for your description, and then save the information at the bottom. And then you'll see your access token generated. So you're going to want to copy your access token and copy your bot username and save that information. So after you have all that saved, you can chat with people instantly. Go to web.ciscospark.com, click on the plus sign, and put in your bot's name in the field and go to chat. So you'll have your screen open ready for chat, and nothing should happen if you type anything, which means you're on the right track. So the next thing you're going to want to do is deploy your bot on Heroku. Before starting Heroku, you're going to want to fork the GitHub repo that we have on the Cisco DevNet repository called BotKit template. So open up github.com real quick. This will only take a quick second. Log into your GitHub account and fork the BotKit-template repo from the Cisco DevNet GitHub account. That way you can connect your Heroku app to the forked version of the bot. So you'll see the fork button if you correctly go to this URL, and then make sure it's on your account, and then you're good to go. You can exit out of that. You won't need to be on this page anymore. So back to Heroku. You open up the web page, heroku.com, sign up for free, verify your email, and then you are good to go. So if you already have an account, then you'll need to click on New, Create New App. If you just made a brand new account, the screen looks a little different. You're going to see different programming languages. Click on Create New App. There's a button below all of those options. So it's kind of like the same as this, but this is a different location. So click on Create New App. And don't worry about the pipeline, as we won't be adding any on the sample. Pipelines allow you to connect multiple apps together and promote code. You have 4 options for your deployment method. We're going to use the GitHub method. So if you can't find the screen, you can find it on the 3rd tab over. There's Overview, Resources, Deploy. You want to be on your Deploy. Click on GitHub, and you want to connect it to GitHub and authorize Heroku. Then you're going to want to search a repository to connect to. So here you will type in BotKit-template, click on search, and connect to that. If it cannot find it, then you probably incorrectly or forgot to fork the repository at github.com/ciscodevnet/botkit-template. Make sure you fork it, and then you can type that in, search, and then you can connect it. The next thing you want to do is at the bottom of that screen, you can manually deploy deploy a GitHub branch. So click on the drop down, select Redis, and then you can deploy your branch. The Redis branch, if you don't know what Redis is, it offers the possibility to persist user preferences to a Redis distributed cache, which is a proposed to go further activity. So when you click on Deploy Branch, it'll say your app was successfully deployed. You can click on View right below that to open your application. So here's a great thing about Heroku. Let's say you get an application error. You don't know what to do next. How do you start debugging? Some of these deployment services have debugging tools. You can view your logs and find out what those issues are. Okay, so click on More and then select View Logs and view your error logs. So here it says missing Spark token. It says could not start as bots require a Cisco Spark API access token. Please add env variable Spark token on the command line or to the .env file. Example Spark token and public URL. So those are the two variables we're going to need to add. So back to the main page, you have your 7 menu items: Overview, Resources, Deploy, Metrics, Activity, Access, and Settings. You're going to want to click on Settings, the last tab on this menu, and there's a button that just says Show VARs. I think it says Show VARs. Or Review. It says Reveal Config Variables. And then here you can create your variables. Your public underscore URL of your application is the application you opened up that said your page wasn't working. If you forgot where to find that, you can click the third tab over, Deploy, and click on Show. There's a button that says Show or Load Your App or Open App, and you can see your application. You're going to want to use that URL for your first variable. The variable needs to be all in caps, public underscore URL, all caps, and then post your Heroku app URL, and then click on Add. Then you can create another one called Spark Token, all caps, Spark underscore token, and copy the Spark access token from your Spark bot form. Not the bot ID at the very top, but the Spark token at the very bottom that generated after you saved it. If you exited out your page, don't worry, you can still create and regenerate your access token. So you can just click on regenerate. It won't hurt anything if you haven't created anything yet. So when you refresh your page and open your bot, you should see a bot name, the version, because it's the correct branch. And if it's not working yet, we still have one more step. Make sure if you're still having issues, just click on More, go back to Deploy, click on More, and click on Restart All Dynos. Restarting always fixes things if things aren't working right. Not all the time. So now we need to create a webhook event. We're going to be using the REST webhook so that our bot starts receiving traffic from Cisco Spark. So you can find this at developer.ciscospark.com. So clicking on Docs, then API reference on the left column, and clicking on Webhooks. And then you can click on Create Webhook. And this page will open up. You'll need to turn on test mode. So click on the webhooks entry in the API reference section on the left, and once you open up the create webhook form, you'll notice there's name, target URL, resource, and event. Ignore the rest as it's not needed at the moment. For your name, create any name. Let's call it Heroku and Spark. Target URL is your Heroku public app URL. You also use that URL to create a variable public URL, so post that there. For resource, type in messages. You'll see it's grayed out. Don't worry about that. Type over it. Same with event. Type in the word created. You'll see it grayed out, but it's not really typed in there, so type in created, and then click on run. And you should get a 200 OK response, which is your HTTP response code that everything is OK, and a success. So your webhook assigned to unique identifier, and it's fired off every time a new message is added to a room your bot is a member of. So now you're going to want to test your Cisco Spark bot. Go back to web.ciscospark.com or your Cisco Spark app and message your bot. Type in the word storage, and if it responds within a few seconds, what is your favorite color, and you type in a color name, then it's a success. If not, if your bot isn't working, it can be many things. Here's things that you can troubleshoot. Number one, make sure you use the correct access token. It's your bot access token on the bottom of the form, not the bot ID at the top of the form. Number two, make sure you clicked on the correct branch. You need to select Redis branch or else it will not work. Number three, make sure you use the correct URL for your deployment, your Heroku application, and make sure you fork the correct repository. Let's see here. And yeah, just check every single thing. Make sure you've done everything correctly. Try restarting your Heroku app and seeing if that fixes anything. Another common error is when someone's adding their bot to a chat room, they accidentally add someone else's bot. So make sure you type in the exact name of your Cisco Spark bot, because if you type in the word test bot or something, there's going to be a lot of stuff that pops up. So make sure you type in your bot's username, which is the email address, your SparkBot name at sparkbot.io. And it's guaranteed it will work by the end of this. So good luck and thank you very much. I am happy that you now successfully have a Spark bot. If not, you are welcome to contact me on Twitter at Tessa Mero, TESSAMERO, and I'm happy to guide you or assist you with your first chatbot.